Jameela Jamil, Harry's Wife's Friend, Part 7. We now turn to an article written by Diora Shadijanova, which was from 4 years ago in the tab.com about Jameela Jamil. Jameela Jamil is everywhere. Kim K says something about her diet. Jameela is in the comments. Necessity of assertion of control. A fitness influencer promotes bogus diet pills. Jameela is there for the retweets. Someone photoshops themselves. Jameela will try to make Photoshop illegal. If any female celebrity ever does something bad, she pipes up. She's on the news, she's on the covers of magazines, she's at the top of your timeline. She's there so much, she's become a voice in your head. She's that one mate you wish you deleted off Facebook years ago. But question, where did she even come from? This ubiquity, does this show a sense of entitlement to always be expressing her view about other people's lives and a lack of accountability for her own behaviour and poor boundary recognition? Believe it or not, the article continues, Jameela Jamil was once a Channel 4 presenter. Years ago, she was the voice who told you what episode of The Simpsons you were about to watch. But now she's appointed herself as the world's biggest answer to the patriarchy. And in all fairness to her, she's done some really great things. She's launched Why Not People, a members club for disabled people which hosts accessible live music gigs. She started the body positive I Weigh movement, which is a pretty cool campaign where women share photos of themselves and the things they've achieved instead of their weight. More recently, she has been a prominent voice against diet shakes and hunger suppressant products. In fact, she was credited to having done more to expose detox tea lies than the entire FDA. But she's also been rubbing people up the wrong way. In all honesty, you've probably low-key felt uncomfortable with her as well, but couldn't figure out why. Well, I'm here to confirm you haven't lost your sanity and have actually picked up on something that goes way, way deeper. The truth is, although Jameela Jamil is doing a good thing, her feminism is lazy, uncomfortable, and patronising. When she messes up, she absolves any responsibility she carries by saying she's a feminist in progress. And mess up she has. Denial of liability and accountability. Some people do bad things in the past, and we shouldn't drag it all up. But when the world's most pernickety woman decides to go on a crusade against everyone, it's only fair to examine the harmful stuff she used to say. Before Jameela Jamil became a big TV star in America, she was a columnist for Company magazine and wrote for her own blog. An example of her fine writing, sex is like money. The more of it is there going around, the less value it has. And there's something empowering and exciting about waiting for a while for sex. And sure, she may have addressed this in a wishy-washy way on her Twitter a few times, but she's never properly apologised for it. It is never too late to check yourself and right your wrongs. I used to be slut-shamey, judgmental, and my feminism wasn't intersectional enough. Who does she sound like, one wonders? Nobody's born perfectly woke. Listen, read, learn, grow, change, and make room for everyone. We aren't free till all of us are free. A tweet from her on December the 15th, 2018. Haughtiness, judgmental, sanctimonious, prejudicial. A blog she published called Booty and the Beast in 2013 targeted Beyoncé. Jameela accused her of sexualizing herself in order to sell her new album. Exhibition of envy, provocation. She wrote, is it possible at all that in a climate of women out-fannying each other to sell records, a la Miley, Nicki Minaj and Rihanna, doing everything other than having a live smear test on stage, that Beyoncé has succumbed to what gets attention? They have deluded themselves into thinking it's feminism if you get your fanny out on your terms. Jameela has been accused of being a swerf, a sex worker exclusionary radical feminist because she repeatedly shamed women for doing anything remotely sexual, absence of emotional empathy, provocation, labelling, insult, smearing. Swerfs are usually characterised by promoting socially conservative attitudes towards sex and sexuality, which clearly she has done for years and years. She also once came for Rihanna, writing, amongst her flaunting of a relationship with a man who the entire world knows beat her senseless, her incessant promotion of marijuana and daring stage antics, now call me old-fashioned, but when did it become acceptable to post pictures of yourself naked on social networking sites? Rihanna, I love you, but put your minge away, will you? Judgmental, provocation. Funnily enough, a few years later, when it suited Jameela's new feminist brand, she tweeted about how Rihanna has grown into such an important voice for women, for people of colour, and for body positivity. Hypocrisy, calling her a god-level boss. Flattery, arse-licking, but she was shortly called out for being patronising towards a black woman. She was accused of, "This is patronising performative wokeness on steroids and it's so weird. Rihanna has always stood up for marginalised folks. In 2013, you slut-shamed her in the world's most bizarre attempt at an op-ed, and now she's the one who's grown into such an important voice," was the comment from Natalie Offline, directed towards Jamil in October 20th, 2018. When Jameela stopped writing angry blog posts about female singers, she started campaigning for another cause, body positivity. Jameela had anorexia and various eating disorders when she was younger, so it's a topic close to home. How can that possibly be a bad thing? You're already typing in the comments. Well, the target of her anger may have changed, but her approach is the same. She wrote on April 28, 2019, "Because I thought social media needed just one more picture of a slim woman pretending this is her standard diet. Hashtag, thank God for magical detox teas that give you abs." The body positive movement is for all women, but it is not supposed to focus on all women. It had roots in fat acceptance. It was never intended to be commercialised to bolster the confidence of those women who are already catered for in mainstream society, i.e. white, able-bodied CIS women with smaller bodies. Jameela's take on body positivity, however, focuses on exactly those women who are already seen as attractive, with bodies accepted by Western beauty standards. Hypocrisy, cognitive empathy. Jameela was even called out for being tone deaf in the erasure of black women's voices in her dialogue and body positive campaign, I Weigh. A tweet from Stephanie Yeboah stated on the 28th of September 2018, "Even on her I Weigh campaign, it's full of smaller, light-skinned white women. I assume Jameela gets to choose which submissions get to be put on her page." Seems like facade management. In the past year alone, Jameela has gone after Iggy Azalea, Cardi B, Kim Kardashian and Khloe Kardashian. She targets the low-hanging fruit such as the Kardashians by calling them sad and telling them to fuck off. Insult, lack of emotional empathy, to further her own brand of wokeness. Jameela's career has skyrocketed since she's been shaming other women on the internet. She's been on cover after cover after cover. Showmanship, showcasing. But you think someone with her problematic past would be kinder to people who clearly haven't reached her kind of feminist enlightenment yet. The world isn't black and white. These celebrities are victims of the fat-shaming society we live in. Someone who calls themselves a feminist should know that all the issues they're fighting for are institutionalized. More importantly, you don't have to be this mean to people to prove your point. That suggests an absence of emotional empathy by her and that she's self-obsessed and self-serving. Within the last year, Jameela Jamil has called for the ban of airbrushing, said people who Photoshop their pictures are committing a disgusting crime, and criticised people for having plastic surgery. Not only does she ignore the huge privileges she possesses by saying this, hypocrisy, but she consistently shames others while doing so, lack of emotional empathy. Because let's face it, she's still considered to be a slim, very beautiful woman by Western beauty standards, and this fact seems to have somehow bypassed her entire thought process. The blindness of narcissism, perhaps? Anytime Jameela gets called out for anything she said, she responds with the classic "I'm still learning" excuse. Deflection. Just a few weeks ago, she got into a heated argument with Azealia Banks, in which she said cosmetic transformations are self-hating. Her tweet, April 9th, 2019, deleted my Azealia Banks tweet because someone rightfully pointed out that my claiming extreme surgical and cosmetic transformation could be self-hating. Left trans people out of the conversation. Totally true. Didn't think of that. Blind spot revealed. Will be more careful. Is this showing somebody who corrects her behaviours because it's meaningful, or simply facade management and nullifying a threat to control? The statement not only left transitioning trans women out of the equation, but policing anyone on getting plastic surgery is messed up. Besides, there are people who need plastic surgery in order to feel comfortable with themselves after an accident or because they have deformities. How did a privileged thin person who benefits from having a small body and is also seen as flawlessly beautiful by everyone become the spokesperson for all-encompassing body positivity? A reader summed up her hypocrisy. Body positivity cash cowing, feminist credentials policing, and puritanical bullshit to top it all off. I am not fighting the patriarchy so that I can be ruled by a matriarchy that gets to tell me how I should feel about my own body and then still gets to tell me what I should and shouldn't be allowed to do with it. If you really cared about the well-being of these women and the message they're sending to their followers, do that without publicly singling them out. Use your privilege to support the already amazing activists out there instead of shouting over them. The conversations surrounding body positivity require nuance. Unfortunately, Jameela Jamil hasn't offered that so far. This article highlighting many flaws on her part, which show numerous narcissistic indicators. We then move on into part 8 to examine more about her family. Join me there.